He is Treasurer in National Solar Energy Federation of India and also the Managing Director, NextGen Financial Solutions Private Limited. He is a chartered accountant with more than 25 years of experience in power project financing. He is specialist in due diligence, valuation of enterprises, venture capital and private equity. Mr. Sanjeev, please.
Good morning, friends, and thank you, Mr. Sharma, for calling me here and allowing me to take it forward now. Let me to start with call the dais, and I would request if Mr. Deepak Gupta and Pranav Mehta ji can accompany our chief guest today, Mr. Dr. Ashwini Kumar, on the dais. Please join us, sir. And I would also request Jayant Parimal ji to please join us on the dais, and also Mr. Potli, since he's already here. Sanjeev Agrawal is already here. Sanjeev, can you please come sit and join us on the dais? I think a round of applause to begin with for our esteemed panelists, and a round of applause for also all of you who have turned up in such large numbers to, at such an early hour in the day, and we were all wondering whether you will all be able to make it or not. So thank you for all of you for coming and being with us today. So let me at the outset wish you again a very good morning and add my remark of welcome on behalf of NCC, where I head the Banking and Finance Committee, as also the managing and part of the Managing Committee. And also I run a company called NextGen, which extends warm greetings and welcome to you once again. I have once again the proud privilege and honor to be with all of you today and tell you how much we appreciate your contributing to this strategic discussion conference on innovative financing. As I think is already being brought out, that the backdrop is already set with 2.44 as the solar energy tariff today, and with the fact that this is actually a 40% downscaling from just a year ago of 4.5 rupee plus of the tariffs that have prevailed. I think we are all looking at a great opportunity, I would call it clearly, because it's an opportunity for raising aggressive financing and that to innovative financing. This is what sets the backdrop. One more thing, I think the grid parity, I remember starting the Reinvest with a clear theme where the Honorable Minister was at that time very worried about grid parity and he was constantly talking about it. I think that role solar energy has clearly reversed today, having, with this tariff of 2.44 specifically, and clearly proving a point that it is almost more than 20% lower than the average rate of power generation for the coal fuel plants of NTPC, which still exists at 3.20. Well, the most important aspect of financing remains, in my opinion, the debt, which is not only 70 to 80% of the total financing element, but more than 80% of the OPEX also. So a clear point is that you must have an adequate, a cost-effective and timely availability of the debt. All these three elements are what we propose to discuss today in this innovative financing conference. And just to set the perspective for the whole program, we've divided it up into two basic tracks. The first track is going to talk about the achievements and how these companies have been built and how you should raise this innovative financing, because if you see, the Indian normal corporates are actually slipping today at the back of this aggressive tariffs that are coming through. So what is emerging is that either these foreign companies or companies which are actually backed by this aggressive global financing are what are taking the limelight and the center stage. And to that extent is what we need to discuss In the first session, we intend to give you some of these success stories and how they have been achieved as a, I would say, a roadmap to all of you. In the second stage, in the second track, which is equally important, are we going to discuss the lenders and investors and their success solutions that they wish to offer to you. So both of the tracks are going to be very interesting and important for you today. And you will probably learn about the debt, equity, and quasi-equity solutions that they wish to unfold today. Well, this 12,288 megawatt industry today is actually almost double the size what it was last year, and we intend to cross 20 gigawatts within the coming year. At the center stage of this is actually our chief guest for today, Dr. Ashwini Kumar, the MD of Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited. And if you see on his right is our chairman of National Solar Energy Federation, the founder chairman, let me add, Mr. Pranav Mehta. On his right is one of the leading solar energy companies CEO, Mr. Jayant Parimal, who is the CEO of Adani Green Energy Limited. I'm sure he brings, I think alone he brings the biggest heavyweight proposition on the entire industry today. And on Dr. Ashwini Kumar's left is Mr. Deepak Gupta. I'm sure there is nobody in this room who does not know him, but again, I will introduce all the speakers a little later as we call them, but just enough to say that he was the initiator of this National Solar Mission, which is what has brought us all together today. On his left is no less than Mr. K.S. Popli himself, the man who is one of the tallest figures today as the CMD of IREDA, which is the Indian Renewable Energy Development Association. On his left is the man who is leading the onslaught of the solar rooftop business with 100 megawatts are already under his belt, one of the most leading companies in solar rooftop, Amplus, and his CEO, my friend and guide, Sanjeev Agrawal, is already here with us. So one round of applause to begin with, so the speakers can give their best. Thank you for that. And before I actually formally invite our chairman of National Solar Energy Federation, two important announcements. One, as you would have probably noticed, that we want to give you the best knowledge today, and we are focused on that. And I have been told by the chairman, National Solar Energy Federation, that we will remain very time conscious. We will all try from our side to stick to the time, and he's given me the liberty to make sure that I make the time is of essence pushed through as an agenda so that you can get time to ask those important questions which you wish to ask. And my second announcement is regarding the same topic, the questions. I request all of you to please keep noting your questions very, very crisply and nicely. Also put there on top to whom the question is addressed. Sign it off at the bottom by saying who you are. So that, and please send these clips in advance. The moment you raise hand, somebody will come, will collect that question and bring it back to me on the dais. And we'll, make one or two questions for each speaker, and that will give a little more orderly discussion instead of, the randomness which at times can destroy the entire knowledge imparting for which you are here. I think with that, allow me to start the proceedings for this session by actually introducing to you our founder chairman of National Solar Energy Federation, Mr. Pranav Mehta. Mr. Mehta is actually known to me from my days when we were together in Gujarat. And when Gujarat launched its solar mission in 2009, called the Gujarat Solar Mission, Mr. Pranav Mehta on the ground worked so aggressively, and he made sure that he was there on the ground to help solve the problems of almost all the developers. Some of you I see here, and some of who you are not. I remember most of them coming and discussing with him, and he bringing the problems back to the government all the while. I watched it very closely because I was also the financial advisor to the Gujarat Solar Mission at that time as well. And some of the senior bankers like Dr. J.P. Dua, who's here, they've all supported us, throughout all that process. So he has kept that mission on, and with a zeal in his mind and heart, he's built, I would say, a little credit I will give to Dr. Deepak Gupta also here, who guided us at that time to, evolve the Gujarat Solar, we used to call it the Gujarat Solar Association. And Dr. Deepak Gupta, who was then the Secretary MNRE, he guided us that, the time has come to evolve it into a National Solar Energy Federation, which you see today. I am very proud to introduce him as the leading solar champion of India. He's also the co-chairman of the Global Solar Council, which he actually helped evolve. And his hands-on experience in implementing solar energy projects is known to almost everyone. He's a very renowned, experienced professional in implementing them. He's incubating and helping a lot of solar small projects as well. And he's also been awarded variously by National Metallurgist Award from Government of India for playing a catalytic role in the various projects. He's also an Indira Gandhi Priyadarshini Award recipient, and Indian Institute of Metal Kishore Kumar Memorial Award is also being given to him. His Lifetime Achievement Award for outstanding contribution to the solar sector small companies is also being recognized by MSME Government of India. He's a BE Metallurgy with distinction in MS University, Baroda, PG Diploma in Manufacture of Iron and Steel, Certified Corporate Director from Institute of Directors, London. Please join me in welcoming him and requesting him to give the welcome remarks. Thank you.
May I request some of our esteemed members, Mr. Dinesh Patidar, Ashish Nandan, if he is there, to kindly come in front. You all are our pillars of strength. Please come in the front. Garg Sahab, Deepa, you may also like to come in front. Come on. Mr. Patidar is the chairman and managing director of the largest solar pump manufacturing company, Shakti Pump, which is operations worldwide. My esteemed friend Dr. Ashwini Kumar, who way back in 1980 did his PhD in solar from IIT Delhi. When we were all discussing all kinds of, so to say, oil wars. At that time he did PhD in solar. And his subsequent journey in MNRE, and also ever since Solar Energy Corporation of India was started, is a history. And his contribution is immense to the growth of solar in our country. Similarly, I would like to mention Mr. K. Poppy also. What Sanjeev referred to in Gujarat, at that time, no bankers were ready to finance. And we, in Solar Energy Association of Gujarat, arranged a seminar on finance. And we persuaded State Bank of India to be the sponsor. And at that time, Mr. Poppy came, I remember, and one-to-one meetings were arranged. Not that loans were given across the table, but at least the ice was broken. And that again is a history. Now he is dealing with World Bank, he is dealing with $1 billion and things like that. So, welcome. He is also from BITS, Pilani, and very good university. Then of course Deepak Gupta sir, who inspired us to form this National Federation. I remember Prem Ji ka RE program was there way back in 2011, October. I gave him my Gujarat card. He looked at it. He said, "What, Mr. Mehta, you are only doing for Gujarat. Kindly do it for the country." Then since I had the corporate background, I knew Tata, Birla, everyone. And people said that if you take the lead, kindly go ahead. So somebody gave 5 lakhs, somebody gave 5 lakhs. and that is how we started. And Sharma ji, defects, they said that you file it here and use our office. That is how we started. Now, of course, we have our own independent rated office. But that is how the National Federation has grown, which, as most of you know, is an umbrella organization of all solar energy stakeholders. Be they large multinationals like Sky Power Global, First Solar, etc., our national NL, or national BGs like Tata, Renew, Birla, and all of them. Now, before I go to my whatever 2-3 points, let me mention that the Secretary, MNRE, Mr. Rajiv Kapoor, who was to come here today, is not able to come because he is to undergo some surgery. But he is more than adequately represented here by Dr. Ashwini Kumar, Popli ji, and should I say, to a small but in a significant way by myself, which I will cover little later. Now friends, as I said, just see, I have only 1 or maybe 2 slides. Just look at the bottom. We started with this motto, making solar energy affordable. I told all our members that if we do this, then we have done our job. We will all make profit, we will all do business, we will all grow. But unless this is done, we have not done our job. And I am happy that वो मुकाम आ गया है, where we are already talking from earlier 12-15 rupees to now well below 3 rupees. That itself is for the nation something really great. And let me mention one more thing. If Energy Next people are there, kindly note what I am trying to say now. I was the first person to congratulate when the 2.44 was there, 2.45 was there, or even 2.6 was there, to congratulate the Minister, Secretary on the WhatsApp. Ashwini also got my message of congratulation, and Popli ji also. So, सरकार को तो congratulation है ही है, but in the same breath, I said that the equal congratulations and kudos to the industry, because this is the PPP mode, जहाँ केवल सरकार कुछ नहीं करती है, हम लोग भी इसके अंदर में शामिल है. So, Kanimal ji है, Renew is also represented, and many people who have quoted lower and lower figures are here, and they are very much part of us. So that has to be noted by everyone, that industry has contributed tremendously by taking risk and playing the game to lower this tariff. And let me also mention that this is unlike the space and nuclear. Again, Energy Next to note that in space and nuclear, it is the tax dollars, government is spending money. Here the private sector is playing. We have to appreciate that. And we never ask for economic viability in space, we never ask for economic viability in nuclear, but we ask economic viability. Oh, solar ki dekho. Anyway, that exam we have passed through. So, solar private sector role I am trying to emphasize in bringing not only the growth but also bringing down the cost. Then, as we all know, which Sanjeev also touched, and we will all be discussing, that technology is taking. This is not a rocket science, as we all know. 18-20% cell efficiency. It has not improved much. Some drastic things we still await. But it is the financial engineering which has contributed significantly to lowering the cost. So what that financial game is, what that magic is, that our captains from industry will also deal with it. Finance people are also here, they will also deal with it. But I have coined one more word, that's beyond finance. It is corporate engineering. And corporate engineering means, the fine game that we have to play to be competitive. And that also is something important. I hope some people throw light onto that. Equally important is the recent talk in the last 8-10 days, which has been there for quite some time, that the government is coming with the quality order. When all this is happening, I'm sure that we should not forget quality. Government has circulated the draft, and we as NCP have given our comments. Jayant Panamalji is here. We, from Adani and other members, we work very closely on that. We have given our suggestions. And one of the blogs, when somebody was trying to resist, etc., I have said that the government or any purchaser has the right to demand quality. Koi shak. That is what I have written. Another thing that as federation, I always resist internally. We have discussions that no legal course of action. We would persuade the government, we will talk to them. We are working in a complementary manner. Only in some exceptional case, like Tamil Nadu backing down, PPA not honored. That too when negotiations fail. So that is just an exceptional case. Otherwise, we always, be it rooftop, be it this subsidy, that subsidy, tender conditions, we always believe in complementary manner and talking it over. Rather than legal fees, मेरे पास चाय का पैसा है, लीगल पैसा नहीं है. And two more things. One is that whatever I told you so far, last night at 9 p.m., I described it to the secretary. So in other words, I have rehearsed whatever I told you with the secretary, and he has given full blessings. What we in Jamshedpur say, Tikba. Whatever it, so I'm so happy. So in that small way, the secretary is represented here, and he told me that please convey my best wishes for the event. So I'm happy that that has also happened. And one more thing, friends, when we are talking about federation, कल प्रणव मेहता नहीं रहेगा तो भी this institution will run financially at least for 5 years, even if nobody gives anything. That is the stage where we are said. We have brought credibility by way of international recognition, Global Solar Council, Asia Photovoltaic, where we are co-chairmen. But I'm so happy to tell you that our journey has brought us to a stage where even if I am not there, this institution will run. And last, my next slide. Okay, all this is possible because of the cooperation of all concerned. And one more vindication of the fact, not only financially but otherwise, this institution will run is the team. Sanjeev Gupta, Sharma Sahab, please come in the front. The fact you have been always there. And then YK Jain, Shaila, Sumedha, please come and greet the people. Shaila, Sumedha दोनों नमस्कार करेगी. शैला फैजी वो वैसे तो आदाब कहने वाली है, लेकिन वो नमस्कार कर दे इतनी हमारे साथ मिलजुल गई है. So हमारा आदाब क्यों? So this is our team. Vijay is also there outside. So thank you all of you. And ये जो है, I would like to end with whatever our Prime Minister says. We had also said in the earlier slide, let us join hands to save the planet. But सबका साथ, सबका विकास, जो सरकार आज कह रही है, but we have said that maybe 7-8 years ago. With these words, I will close and wish well for this entire thing. Welcome all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you understand the passion he brings with him, and I think it probably clearly spills out. We thank you, sir. Thank you for that passion. Thank you for your wishes. The way you run NCC is actually an example in itself, and we all are learning your passion also. So let me now invite Dr. Deepak Gupta to deliver his theme address, and before I do that, just 2 lines to say that you know him as a 1974 batch IAS officer, a person who initiated this entire mission, but also to add that he's done his Master's in History from St. Stephen's, MPhil in International Relations from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Master's in Public Administration from Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University as Mason Fellow. He was also an advisor to World Health Organization for a year. And just before we could grab him back into the National Solar Energy Federation, he was also the chairman of UPSC. Please welcome him with a big applause. We really welcome him for his theme address. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and friends on and off the dais. I am not a finance expert, but I will still, since I've been asked to give the theme address, some thoughts. There is very little doubt anymore. It's not now 2009 or 10, that we are on the threshold of a revolution in solar energy. And I think this will involve a paradigm shift in the power structure of the country, and which requires a complete overhaul of the financial and regulatory architecture of this sector. And it is time that we all start building on that. I and everybody else whom I meet are asking these questions. How will all this money for 100 gigawatt and then 200 gigawatt come? And how will it reduce the cost of funds? And how will you make the current tariff sustainable? So these questions have to be both asked and answered. And I hope that some light we will see today. And because this has become absolutely the critical issue. Now, single location, large projects offer great opportunities for large capital deployment and economies of scale, besides creating possibilities of innovative financing. And as Sanjeev mentioned, debt is very critical. But as I see the last tenders, very significantly I find that the size has not mattered, whether it is 50 megawatt or whether it is 300 megawatt. I think the policy people have to consider this very seriously. Now, given the cumulative exposure of the Indian banking system to the power sector is already very high, it is critical to develop domestic banking and capital markets in India and increase both international debt and equity flows while mitigating currency risks. I understand there are 4 innovative financial instruments: green bonds, credit enhancement, masala bonds, and InvITs. There have been recent issuance of green bonds of Exim Bank, Yes Bank, and Renew Power, which have lowered cost of funds. Guarantee support of strong national or international institutions allows global money from long-term pension, sovereign, and insurance funds. Masala bonds are rupee-denominated bonds where currency risk is transferred to investors. After IFC, HDFC, NTPC, and NHAI have raised huge funds in this way. InvITs are infrastructure investment trusts which invest in infrastructure bonds. 6 such have been conceptualized and 2 have already raised money of around 7,000 crores. So there is a lot of innovation going around. In the regulatory and policy area, it is critical to eliminate risks. And from what I see and hear and read, PPAs require to be standardized and enforced, not postponed, amended, or cancelled. Their bankability must improve through provisions of deemed generation, termination compensation, payment security mechanisms, assignment in favor of lenders, etc. And if required, the central government must come out with support mechanisms for state discoms. And this is an agenda which the Federation will take forward with both the center and the states. Let us, however, not forget that the solar rooftop sector is equally important, and where 40% is the target. When I went to China last month, one could visibly see that the trend is moving towards distributed. And solar rooftop has both similar as well as different financial and regulatory issues which are becoming more and more important as the day goes by. So we will have a separate conference for that, and I hope we will have one in this SECI in the third week of July. Now, this is all a big agenda for Secretary MNRE. When I was there, the agenda was very small, very limited, very simple. And now, increasingly, I think it is important for the secretaries in the Finance Ministry to be involved, because these are all important finance instruments, and I think we must make a reach to those people also. I think many facilitative changes have occurred in policy, but many more have to come. It's a work in progress, it's dynamic. Innovation, I think, is critical, and its speed is also equally critical. And I would suggest, had the Secretary been here, but maybe Ashwani and Popri can take this message back to him, that there should be a small advisory group for this purpose. These are difficult and challenging things, and we need to go forward both robustly as well as systematically. I look forward myself to hear these details of these issues and the ideas that our distinguished speakers will bring. And just incidentally, and this is only a development from yesterday, if there is some probable chance of an interaction with our ambassador in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, if any of the companies are interested in looking at Abu Dhabi in financial terms, please get in touch with me separately or with Mr. Mehta, and then we can try and work around. It's a very interesting development that the initiative for this has seemingly come from our ambassador in Abu Dhabi. So obviously something must be cooking up there. So let us hope. So with these words, thank you very much.